everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Charlotte, and if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and sticking with me, although it's been such a long time since I've sat down and filmed a video. With good reason. A lot's gone on in the time that I've not been filming. Huge life updates. I've bought a house. We're officially going to move into that house when we come back from holiday. Of which we're currently away now. So at the moment we're in Cyprus. We are here for 11 nights and tomorrow is our last night. Tomorrow is mine and my partner Lewis's 7-year anniversary, and at the beginning of the holiday something very exciting happened and we got engaged. You'll have to excuse how smug I will be during this whole video because I have had to wait 7 years almost for this moment. And what's annoying is this is the only trip over the past however many years I've been filming videos on YouTube that I have not vlogged. So there isn't any clips that I'll be showing of me actually getting engaged, or you know, me before and me after or anything like that, because I just sort of took this trip to just be in the moment. So this is my engagement story, how I got engaged, because I love these videos. Even before I was even really in a relationship, like years ago, I was obsessed with two types of videos: wedding engagements, planning a wedding videos, and baby videos, and they still have not changed after all these years. So if you would like to stick around, please do, because there's going to be a lot of wedding content that will be coming your way, and no doubt a lot of topics to discuss. I'm thinking afterwards to do like a wedding Q&A after this video, in case there's things that have come up that I haven't covered and you want me to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I am currently just sat down. I'm in my robe, in my PJs, I've had a shower, so I'm like fresh and clean, and I thought I'm going to do a quick little get ready with me and discuss my engagement story. In all fairness, I've hardly been wearing makeup at all this holiday, and something that I found which was quite funny, I'll start to get ready. I'm having to sort of dodge the sun because at the minute it is like golden hour. It's beautiful outside, but as much as you'd think it'd be nice to film outside in the sun, it's not. I'm being blinded and the road traffic is just terrible. So I thought, I've kicked the Beyonce outside onto the balcony. I said, look, I'm going to film a video. First of all, would you like to do it together? I thought it'd be nice to have both sides of the story of how the engagement came about. He said no, it was a hard no. So I said, fine, go outside, I'll film a video by myself then. So I'm here filming by myself, but ideally I would have had both of us sat down so you could have got his account of how everything happened and the build up to everything, but for now it will just have to be how I remembered everything. And I say remember because I feel like I've been away for ages. Like I said, it'll be 11 nights, and it honestly feels like I've been away ages. I am sort of ready to go home now. As I just said at the beginning of the video, we've recently bought our first home, which we've had for like 6 weeks, maybe just over 2 months, and we've not moved in yet. So we are moving in when we go back from holiday as an engaged couple, which I just think is like, is that not just the perfect thing? But yes, the engagement happened at the start of the holiday. So I'm just going to take you back to pre-engagement. So a little bit of background story. Me and Lewis met it would have been 7 years ago. So we met 7 years ago. I was 17, Lewis was 19. We met through mutual friends that matched on Tinder. I think I've got a whole video of how I met my boyfriend on my YouTube channel. So you're welcome to go and have a look at that video if you were interested in the whole backstory of how me and my boyfriend met. Fiance, still getting used to that. So yes, anyway, we met through mutual friends. We then started going out, and then about 3 years ago, I moved into his family home. So we've been living together for like a couple of years now, and like I said, we've just bought our first place together. If it was like down to me, with the engagement would have happened probably a couple of years ago. But in all honesty, with the way that everything's turned out, I don't think, and as well saying whilst we've been away, I don't think I was truly ready until now to get engaged. So I'm 24 now. My fiance is 26. Yeah, 26. And I really feel like this is the right time. So anyway, I was taking you back to when we first got here. So we got here on Saturday. We got here pretty late actually. I think by the time that we got into the hotel room, it was about 10. And then we were like, we need to go get some food. So we went out. I mean, to be honest, by the time that we actually got out, it must have been like nearly 12. No, nearly 11, sorry. And we were going to a couple of restaurants and we're like, oh, we're here for food, like, you're still doing food? And they're like, no, not doing food anymore. And this is a Saturday night. And I was thinking, what? Not still doing food? So we had a drink in one of the bars. And just to quickly add, and by the way, this video is, I've not thought about how exactly what I'm going to say. It's been a while since I've sat down, so you will have to bear with me if everything's a little bit sporadic, chaotic, and I repeat myself or get ahead of myself, because it's been a while and this moment is just, I can't believe it's here. So we've been to Cyprus before, like I said, just to backtrack slightly, we've been to Cyprus before about 3 years ago. We came here, and there is a Cyprus vlog when we were last here. Due to a mishap with Thomas Cook, we were meant to be going to Zante. Thomas Cook went into administration, and we were in we were in a travel agent's on the day we were meant to be flying away, last minute booking something which happened to be Cyprus, and we've come back to the exact same hotel that we stayed in a couple of years ago. So we had an idea before we came of the hotel and the types of restaurants that were around us. So we thought, great, if we get there late and by the time we get out, it's really, at least we've got an idea and we know our bearings. We've been here before. So we went to a bar that we've been to before and loved. And we were like, this was the place that we're going to go to on our anniversary, being tomorrow. We're like, we'll go for dinner on anniversary here because it's a really nice vibe. It's like right on the marine. It's got really funky, like cool lights and stuff above it. And I have got a picture of us eating there, which I'll insert at some point. Anyway, so we're sat having a drink, and this was like the first night that we got here, and we're sat having a drink, and I was just saying to Lewis, like, I just love Cyprus so much. It is just the type of place, you go places sometimes and it's the hotel that brings you back, because you had such a lovely experience. Like, you go back to somewhere because of the hotel, which we've had a couple of experiences like that in Greece. We've had some really lovely places in Greece that we were like, it's not necessarily the place that we're going back to, it's more the hotel, because the experience was so good. And don't get me wrong, the hotel here is lovely, but I was saying, it's just the vibe here, the vibe in Cyprus. I can't explain it. It's just like it's like a home away from home, but in the best possible way. All the hotels and bars and restaurants, I just think it's got such a nice vibe. Obviously at that point I didn't know that I was getting engaged in Cyprus. I was like, yeah, love it. Anyway, we then come back home, and the only places that were open were like these kebab shops and stuff. So we had a gyros in bed at like, God, it probably was about 1 o'clock, and then went to sleep. Got up the next morning, had a really nice time, like really slow, steady day. We spent most of the day by the pool. And then we were getting ready, and we were I can't remember where we thought we were gonna go for dinner. I can't really remember, but I then got ready, we headed out, and then this is the moment, that the build up to the engagement. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of makeup on so I can skip ahead and then get back to storytelling, because clearly I can't multitask and do the same. It's taking me about 10 minutes to do my brows. So I'll do some makeup and I'll come back and continue with the story. Okay, and we're back. So I've just done a little bit of more makeup, and I've had to switch the camera angle around because it's getting dark, and I'm losing it because I'm just filming with natural daylight and the sun setting. I thought, let's get a wiggle on and get on with the story. So we were getting ready for dinner and we headed out, and at this point, like, there was nothing really in my mind. And I'm the type of person where when people are telling me their engagement stories and they're like, oh, I had no idea, it was such a surprise, I'm like, lies. I feel like I would pick up on every clue. Like, I'd sort of switch on, think something's happening here. Like, I honestly thought I would 100% know if something was happening, because every holiday that we've been on for the past couple of years, or not even holiday, it could honestly be we go out for a walk, and I think in my head it could be now, could be now, could be now. And I literally do think that every time we go out or we're in like a slightly romantic setting, I'm like, could be now, could be now. Because I think he's trying to throw me off. So he's thinking I'm not going to think it's going to be now, but I really do. And before we'd had conversations about when we're going to get engaged and our hopes and that sort of thing. So probably for the past over a year, we've had the conversation that it's like, I really am ready to get engaged now. And I've been like hinting a lot, and I'll get into like the ring and everything like that, that I want to get engaged. And we went away earlier on in the year for my birthday. I went to Italy. I think I filmed it. Yeah, I did. It's probably one of the last videos that I pulled, and that was back in April. So I went to Italy for my birthday. I really honestly did think that I was going to get engaged then. And to be very truthful, I was quite, it sounds so spoiled, I was disappointed that it didn't happen, because I really thought Italy, so romantic for my birthday. And there was one point we went up to like a rooftop terrace, and I really truly thought it was going to happen then. We made quite a lot of friends on that holiday, and we were like, I was joking saying it's going to be tonight, like I think it's going to be tonight, hopefully we get engaged. And it didn't happen. We come back home, and even before I went on that trip, a lot of people around me, like work, friends, family, were like, is this going to be it? Is this going to be the trip? And that's happened for a couple of years, honestly, that people have said, anytime we've gone away, oh, this could be the trip, it could be now. And I don't know what it was, because only Lewis's parents knew that this was going to happen. Nobody said to me about this holiday, you might get engaged. Not one person had said, oh, it could be. And normally I would like say a couple of jokes, or like when we're doing like packing lists and stuff on our phone, I say to Lewis like, don't forget to put engagement ring on there. Don't forget that. And he's like, oh, no, it's not going to happen. I don't know what it was. And when people say it will happen when you don't expect it to, it really did. There was something in my mind where I just told myself, when it comes to this trip, don't say it. Don't say it, don't think it, it's not going to happen. We've just bought the house. It's too much going on at once. When we'd had conversations about getting engaged, we've been quite open and honest with each other. And Lewis was like, look, it's going to happen before your next birthday. So before April next year, but not this year. And I was like, okay, I feel like he's doing that to throw me off. But then he sounded really serious, and I thought maybe it really isn't going to happen until my next birthday. And I just need to get it through my head. And I don't know what it was, whether we're moving into the house when we get back, and that was more of my focus. I just almost told myself, don't think about it. I didn't say anything before we went away to anybody that I thought it might happen, nothing. And normally, like, I was getting a bit desperate to know if something was going to happen or not before, not around this trip, but before. And I'd be like, just to let you know, Lewis, I have looked through your sock drawer and I've not found a ring. And I would go looking for it, because I think I just got it in my head, like going a psycho with it, thinking, when is it going to happen? When? Didn't do that at all. And sometimes I'd go out and I was like, feel his trouser pockets to see if there was a ring box in there, thinking like, oh, I thought I was going to catch you out. Honestly, why do I try and spoil it for myself? I don't know. But I didn't do that this time. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because it was the first proper evening holiday, and I don't know. Maybe if nothing had happened up until this point and it got to our anniversary, maybe I'd think, it's our anniversary, like maybe it will happen. But it just caught me off guard. So back to the story. We were heading out for dinner. He had, these are things I didn't clock at the time really. He had his like man bag, I say man bag, it's like a bum bag that he was wearing around here. And even as we were heading out, walking to dinner, he was holding it tight. And I even said to him, I was like, you're holding that bag quite tight. Did not clock at that point. Hold on, why is he holding the bag tightly? And he was like, oh, it's just a way to hold my hand. And I laughed and thought, you're a bit weird, makes sense. So again, going to dinner. And like I said, I can't actually remember where we thought we were going for dinner, but if you've been to Cyprus before, there's like this main marina and it sort of loops round. And when we were here last time, we didn't go all the way around. Right at the end is a castle. And yeah, we just, I guess because it is probably about a 25-minute walk from the hotel to the right at the end of the marina, we'd never quite gone all the way around. So Lewis was like, let's just go for a walk, let's just get some fresh air, and like let's go and have a look at the castle. And I am not just saying this, at the time I thought, oh, why does he want to go to the castle? I thought a bit romantic, it was all lit up. And I thought, and even then, like I say, I think a lot, oh, it's gonna happen now, it's gonna happen now. So because he was saying, let's go to the castle and stuff, I was like, and in my head at that point I was thinking, imagine if I walked in there and there was like, will you marry me or something. Those were my thoughts. I had to put a light on, so I'm not entirely sure if that's made much difference or not. But yeah, we're heading to the castle, and I was thinking, oh, imagine if it was now. And I said, oh, I wonder if you can go into the castle. Thinking there's going to be rose petals. It's going to be set up. And he was like, oh, probably not. Maybe during the day you can go in. I was like, oh, okay. So we walked around the castle. We had a look at it. Then we walked by the castle, and there was nothing really past it. And he was like, oh, should we have a seat on the bench? I was like, yeah, okay. And at that point, because I thought it's the castle, and then it didn't happen, I thought it's not going to happen. So we sat down, and I was like, oh, he's like, oh, it's so lovely. I was like, yeah, it's so nice. And then he was like, oh, what? I wonder what's up there. So the castle was here, and it's almost like in a U. And the castle was here, and we walked by it, and I now know that he was thinking about doing it around the castle. And I'd said to him before, I don't want it in a really public setting. My worst nightmare would be to be in front of loads of people. I just wouldn't want it like that at all. So I now know that he was thinking about doing it around the castle, but couldn't because there was too many people, there's too much going on. And he'd taken mental note, I wouldn't want to be around loads of people. Anyway, so the castle was here, and there was this little walkway up here, and by this time it's pretty dark. You can't really see much. This place up here, like this little walkway, wasn't lit up at all. It was like, let's go and have a look over there. I think I was tired, I was hungry, I thought I was going to get engaged, but like I always do, and I thought, oh, you're stupid just thinking it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. So at this point I was getting a little bit hangry and stroppy, and Lewis was like, oh, and there was like this column that just broken in half, and it was like a point. I was like, I wonder what that pointy thing is over there. And I said, oh, can we not just go for dinner? I'm so hungry. It's like, look, we're not going to walk this way again, let's just go and have a look. So I was like, okay, fine. And then by this walkway was almost, I'd say it was like a little, I say it's a pier, but it wasn't like a full-on pier. Like it was like almost like a little walkway that sort of come over these little cliffs, and you'd walk out, and again, there wasn't really any street lights or anything up there. So we walked along the end of this pier, and you could see all of the rest of Cyprus, like the bay, all lit up. And we were directly underneath the moonlight. And even then, for a split second, I thought, but not truthfully thinking it's actually, like, I never got like nervous thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen now. And yeah, we were looking out over Cyprus, and it was all lit up underneath the moonlight. And then we were just, I thought to myself, if he pulls me to look at him like that, it's going to happen. And we were just like, oh, it's so beautiful. And we were talking about the house, and Lewis was saying that, you know, how proud he was of us and how much we've accomplished and stuff. And I was like, yeah. And even at that moment, did not think something was going to happen. And then he turned around towards me, and he was saying how proud he was of the house and everything. And then he said, so? And I was like, so? and then he opened his bag and got out the ring box and just said, "Charlotte Emily Morel, I love you so much," got down on one knee and asked me to marry him. And that's how it happened. And it was just the most understated romantic proposal. I could never have imagined it happening like that, but it was just perfect. You know, there was only, I think there was like a couple that walked by, but no, it wasn't in front of loads of people. There was no great big grand gesture. It was just simple, but got everything right. Like, I wanted him to really get down on one knee, ask me to marry him, and I said to him, which he'd taken on no. We talk to each other, and I think a lot of couples do this, in like a stupid voice. We don't talk to each other in a serious voice. And I was worried, and I'd said to him before, when you ask me to marry you, please don't ask me in that stupid voice. I want you to say it properly. And he said it to me properly, and I just couldn't believe it. I just started crying. I was like, oh my God, what? Oh my God, what? This is not happening. And I couldn't remember if I said yes. So I think I said yes quite a few times, because I was like, oh my God. Like, I was completely shocked. Even though in the moments before, around the castle, and this, for the split second before that, where I was thinking, if he turns towards me, then it's going to happen. Genuinely did not actually think it was going to happen. So the fact that it did was just like, it's like, I can't explain it. And even now, like, when I try and think back to that moment, which is why I want to try and film this whilst I'm still out here and keep it fresh in my mind, like, the whole thing was a blur. And I've seen a couple of people's YouTube videos since where they're like, I honestly can't remember what he said. I can't remember if he even asked me to marry him. I can't remember if I said yes. And now I completely understand. The whole thing was a blur. I just remember him saying my whole name, he loves me, and will I marry him? And I think I said yes. And the funny thing was, I hadn't even seen the ring. When he got down on one knee, like I said, even though we were underneath the moonlight, it was like enough that I could see him and see what he was doing, but I could not see the ring at all. I had no idea what it looked like. He got it out the box, put it on my finger, and I was like, I don't know what it looks like. I can't even see the ring. I need to see the ring. I was like, get your torch on it now. Obviously, like, I'd said yes. It honestly did not matter. In that moment, like, it felt like a while before I was like, oh my God, I haven't even seen the ring. Like, get your torch on it, I haven't even seen the ring. And when he put the torch on it, I was like, oh, it's definitely a yes. Because we had spoken about our engagement before. And this is why I wanted to sit down and talk about it, because everyone's story is so different. To some people that are like complete traditionalists, the idea of talking about getting engaged before you get engaged is like, that doesn't happen. Like, it just happens. You have literally no clue. And that wasn't really the case for us. Like, we had spoken about getting engaged for a couple of years, but more in the sense that it was like an eventuality. Like, we knew what was going to happen. We want to spend the rest of our lives with each other. Eventually that will happen. And probably over the past 6 to 9 months, we have been looking at window shopping for rings a lot more. And that to me was like an indication that it's going to happen sooner, you know, in the next year. I was thinking, because we're looking at rings, and I'd said, can I try some on? Because I wanted to have an idea of what I really liked and what I felt suited me. And this is a piece of jewelry that I'm going to wear for the rest of my life. So I at least wanted a little small input as to what I like. And so Lewis knew the style that I liked as well. So we had gone ring shopping a couple times. Probably the first time I actually thought about it was December last year. We had gone to London, and I think there was a vlog, and if I can find the clip, I'll insert it, of me saying, oh, we're going to try on rings, I'm going to try on some engagement rings. And even back then I was like, oh my god. And I actually didn't find any rings then. I had not tried any on. There was nothing that I actually found and liked. So I think it may have been a couple months after that we'd gone to this like designer outlet near us, which had like an Ernest Jones, and I tried on a couple of rings then and found one that I really liked. And And then a couple months had gone by and we were in Derby, we were in the Into like shopping centre, and we'd gone into Goldsmiths. And this for me was like a more serious experience. Like it wasn't just me dragging him along and like, oh, let's try on rings, and he was like, oh. Which it kind of was at the last place. I was like, oh my god, can I try some rings? And I was like, fine. That didn't feel like a proper, you know, we both were looking at it. So when we went to Goldsmiths the second time and we spoke to a lady, and she was telling us a lot about the history of diamonds and you know, like the difference between like gold, white gold and platinum and brilliant white diamonds and all of those types of things. Like, and I tried on quite a lot of rings then, and what I had seen online and the styles I thought I liked, I actually didn't like them when I had them on my finger. And the one that I tried on I liked the most, when I see it online, I didn't like it, but in person and on me, I absolutely loved it. And then I had the ring that I knew this is my favourite. And I had a screenshot when I found it online, and I just airdropped it to Lewis and he kept it on his phone. But never did I think that was the ring. There was never conversations of me saying like, when it happens, this is it. And I think that was sort of like the element of surprise for me. Like Lewis is the type of person where he will do what he wants. He's independent, like no one can really tell him what to do. He'll do what he wants to do. And he said like, you know, when we got engaged, he was like, nobody's going to know beforehand. He was like, I won't tell anybody, no one will know. It will just be me. And I was like, I bet you won't even pick any of the rings that I told you that I like. I think you will just go and get the ring that you like. It's like, yeah, probably. So at that point, I genuinely did not have any idea what kind of ring I'd end up with. I thought he'd just go out and get whatever he likes. So when I seen that it was the ring that I loved and tried on, told him that he liked, I was like, oh my god, like that completely took me by surprise, because we've been speaking about it. And he was like, yeah, it's between two rings. I was like, oh, any of the rings I've told you that I liked? He's like, I'm not telling you. So I genuinely had no idea which one he was going to go for. Obviously, now that it's happened, he was like, it was always that ring. He's like, as soon as you told me that was the one you liked, he was like, that was it. In my mind, that was the ring. And I was like, okay, right, okay. So that's how everything happened. I'm now losing a lot of light. I'm aware the quality is horrible, but I really wanted to capture this in the moment and try and keep this as authentic as possible and just try and capture the story, like I say, while it's still fresh in my mind. We actually decided to keep it to ourselves for 24 hours before telling anybody, any friends or family, anything like that. And I'm so glad that we decided to do that. I mean, straight after it happened, we went and took a couple of pictures, which I'll insert a couple here. But I really wanted to scream from the rooftops. I wanted to tell every single person that walked past, I've just got engaged. And we didn't. But yeah, after kind of maybe like an hour after it happened, I was like, I think I want to keep this to ourselves just for 24 hours. And the fact that we know and nobody else knows, I just think that's so exciting. So let's just keep it to ourselves for 24 hours, and then we'll tell friends and family. We told family the next evening, we told friends like 2 nights afterwards, and then we put it on social media. So that was sort of the general story of how everything happened, a little bit of backstory as to, you know, the proposal and that sort of thing, and a little bit about the ring as well. So I'm just going to finish getting ready, then I'll show you a close-up of the ring and finish this video off. So I'm all ready now. I thought I'd just quickly show you a quick close-up of the ring. Oh, don't move the table. I thought I'd just show you a quick close-up of the ring, because for me that's why I want to see when someone's just got engaged. Like I'm like, okay, show us the ring. So this is the ring. So it is a solitaire. It's got diamonds down each side, and this is the ring that I found when we went shopping together, and I just fell in love with. So I feel like I've covered pretty much everything, but anything that I've not covered, I am going to do at some point a Q&A, and no doubt answer a lot more wedding related questions about the date and our hopes and our ideas, because we have been wedding planning slightly whilst we've been out here, because it's obviously been on our minds a lot. So yes, keep your eyes peeled on my Instagram for the Q&A. I'll put up like a Q&A answer box, and any questions or anything that you guys have, if you're curious, keep your eyes peeled for that and I will answer those for you. So I hope you've all enjoyed this video. Again, so sorry that it's taken so long for me to sit down and film. Like I say, in the process of me not filming, we bought a house and got engaged, so please bear with me, but there will be at some point videos talking through the process of us buying a house. We've sort of renovated it a little bit. It's more like a redecoration than a renovation, but I have filmed a little bit of that process, and we've also got a home account on Instagram, so I will leave below our home account for our Instagram, because I kept that a lot more updated than I have you guys, apologies. And yes, I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.